So live pinhole quilting. This is our live Facebook and Facebook Live from outside the showroom in the sunshine. I just was hearing the skylarks, some sparrows. I'm not an expert on birds. I know a bit more about quilting. So let's go inside. Walk this way. So this is the outside of our building. I'm just going to swap around and we'll go inside. So pinhole quilting. We are located near Pershore, which is a lovely little market town in the Vale of Evesham. It's traditionally, hi Hilary, hi, how you doing? Good to see so many people online already. So I thought I would do something a little different today. I thought I would give you a little walk around because this week on Monday, we were able to open for the first time. And, you know, oh, good morning, Elizabeth. Hi. Elizabeth up in Scotland with her husband, Brian. And Jane. Hi, Jane, with her Sweet 16 down in Southsea. Great to see you. And when you walk into our showroom, good morning from Stockport. Looks nice and sunny down there. It's beautiful. But you know what, Kay? It gets incredibly cold. We had -7, I think, again last night. So all of that beautiful, you know, the blossoms and stuff around here at the moment, pretty much destroyed. Hi, Laurence. Bonjour. Comment ça va? That's about it for my French. Laurence fortunately speaks better English than I do French. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Kay. Hi, Trisha. And Trisha was here this week, so she can probably say better than anybody else, but Trisha came along this week and had a little play on this lovely little capri here. Hi, Joyce. You had 3 inches of snow. And Anne from, now is it Drogheda or Drogheda? And Maggie, who popped in and bought some rulers. So our ruler wall is here and on both sides. And Lindsay from Switzerland, I bet it's beautiful in Switzerland today. And hi, Chris. Hi, Lindy. Hi, all. And I saw there's somebody from Massachusetts. Fabulous. Oh, Lawrence says, your French is great, don't complain. Many years ago, I actually did, I'm going to say date, that sounds a bit old-fashioned, but I did date a guy who lived in Paris, and every 3 or 4 weeks I would fly over to Paris and have a lovely time walking around. He lived in the 16th arrondissement, not far from the Bois de Boulogne, which is not as quite as nice as it sounds, but a nice park during the day. And all the antique shops and stuff in that area. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, we are, good morning, Susie. Hi, Emily Elizabeth. Now, Emily Elizabeth, that is, I'm going to say Emily Elizabeth is also known as B. Oh, I've forgotten what you call yourself. Anyway, Susie. Good morning, Susie from Dorset. And Lindsay says it's cold, windy in Switzerland. And sunny Kent, yes, lovely. Rosemary, good to see you on here. And not so sunny in Spain with Carol, who's recently had her moxie. And I hope that's all getting set up well for you, Carol. Sunny in Norfolk. So yeah, it was really, really cold. And that's why I posted that the freezing cold frost picture. It wasn't taken this year, actually, I confess. Hi, Pearl, who just lives up the road in Redditch. And yeah, that beautiful ice that I found one morning. Bella. Sorry, Lemon Elizabeth, Bella. And Liz from Crowborough, Sally, yep, in 18 degrees. I think it's warmer in Scotland than it is down here. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a walk around. So that for those of you who are thinking about coming to our showroom, and you know, you're very welcome. We just do need to have a booking for it, only because we're not always here. And it does mean that we can get everything ready and make sure that we're not doing an installation. And good morning, Linda Goslin, who is in the States, Handy Quilter educator. And I did a class with Linda. It was absolutely excellent at the Handy Quilter Academy about I'm going to say 3 years ago. Hopefully it was 3 years ago. And Sue, yes, we do all need to get into the garden, Sue. And Julie, do you realise that last week, I don't know if this is intentional, Julie Betts from Sunny Wales, the only angry face on our Facebook live post was from you, Julie. And I don't know if you meant to do it. It's a bit like Di Bell. She did it right at the beginning and she didn't know how to un-angry it. And that's great. And we've got Joyce as well saying hi. Wow, we've got a very, very international audience, which is wonderful. So this is our sort of accessory wall. You'll notice there are a few gaps because next week, hi Linda. Well, she's saying hi to to Joyce. Yeah, we've got a few gaps because we're expecting a delivery of Handy Quilter accessories next week, which will be wonderful. And in the meantime, we have had, I'm glad to say, a delivery of the stencils. Julie's just apologising for her angry face. No, it was really funny. Pete and I had hysterics when we saw it. We thought, we're sure that Julie is not genuinely angry with us. But if you were, we apologise, but obviously you weren't. So that's good. Good morning, Sylvia. And I've updated the website with your details. So that is good. I finally got around to doing that. This is a wall of new ones, people. And anybody who is interested, hi, Michaela. And hello, Helen, who is a regular on our Facebook Live, which is wonderful to see you as well, Helen. Pre-rounded bobbin deco bob. No, not yet, but it'll be here next week. So Lawrence was asking about the pre-wounds. Yeah, the thing is, because we're doing that, we're doing this Facebook Live, we have to get onto our orders more frequently, but actually we have been quite busy. But this week has been fabulous. So I'm just going to take you around here and I'm going to show you. So this is our capri, and good morning, Carol. Good morning, Annette. Hope you're having a lovely morning in Northamptonshire, Carol. A beautiful morning indeed. And then we've got an Avanti, not on the market anymore. That one's just for teaching. But over here we have an Infinity. Infinity is a 26-inch long arm. It's the largest in the Handy Quilter range. And it's an absolutely super machine. Bella, the glide feet are coming in this week. And Jacqueline, stencils, I have an 11-inch snowball block. Any suggestions? Oh, if you put it, Jacqueline, if you do that on long arm learning curve, I'm sure we'll be able to help you on there. And good morning, Keita. How nice to see you on here. So yeah, this is the Infinity. It's a beautiful machine. So I've just been having a little play, and I've got this set up so that. Very, very precise machine and goes like the absolute clappers if you go full pelt on it. 3,100 stitches per minute. So this is what you get to see when you come into our showroom, which is, we feel incredibly lucky to have this beautiful space. And the lovely thing about it is that as long as everything goes to plan, we will be opening up for classes in this lovely space in June. I haven't posted anything about the actual dates and I haven't put it all up on there yet because we just want to wait a few more days. And then as soon as we can, we will do it. And the nice thing will be is that everybody who comes on our classes will have their own machine. I say their own machine, we'll match it as closely as possible to what you purchased. Oh, and Lawrence says Infinity with Pro Stitcher is just a great treat. It is beautiful, isn't it, Lawrence? Thank you for that recommendation. It is absolutely superb. And for those people who bought the FAF Power Quilters either in 2017 or more recently when we were selling the demonstration machines, we have a couple of FAFs that you'll be using when you come on your classes. So we've also got the Simply 16 in here, which is a lovely machine that we've been selling for, well, since 2016. and it's a 16-inch throat space. It's a very nice little machine, and mostly now we are finding that the Moxie fits the bill for a lot of people, but you know, this is stitch regulated. You can quilt from the back. You can team it up either with the Studio 2 frame or the little foot frame, either with or without the little buddy. Little buddy. Oh, Emily Elizabeth, Bella doesn't know what a Pro Stitcher is. You are prompting me, and I didn't even pay you to do this. So I'll tell you a bit more about the Pro Stitcher in a second, Bella. So what Laurence was saying, Bella, is that she has the Infinity machine, and she opted to have the Pro Stitcher, which is actually a computerized system, and we are just about to come onto it. So this here, just going to give you an impression of the size of a 12-foot frame. It is quite big. And this is our Amara, probably our favorite machine in so many. I shouldn't even say that. It's like saying to your children that you have a favorite. But we do absolutely love the Amara. One of our customers who's about to get her machine, and this is the Pro Stitcher. I'm just putting my finger in there so you can see this is the Pro Stitcher element, Bella. Yeah, Susan, who was actually, we did a Zoom demonstration with Susan this week on the saddle stools, which prompted me to kind of think, okay, maybe we should be doing just a little thing on the saddle stools and the differences between them, because it's actually quite difficult just to see it on a static website. So Susan is getting this combination, which is a lovely combination. We've got a lot of customers out there who've either had the Amara and upgraded or have just gone from it from the outset. The computerized system from Handy Quilter consists of the tablet like this, where you can put basically a design from the design library, buy them online as well. And the Pro Stitcher enables you to stitch out things like this. I've just set up the table mat one here, and if I just set this going for you, just resume that, you'll see so that is now stitching out according to where I told it to stitch. Where the black is where it's going to go, and where the orange is where it has already been. And there we go. Just going to pause that. So I've just paused that so that I can give you a bit more of a tour. But if anybody's interested in a Pro Stitcher demo, you know, I can do that on Zoom. I can do it if you come along to the showroom, I can show you. And it's very easy to go from this to free motion quilting. So we had some customers who came in on Thursday, were having a little play. I think they've been doing Angela Walters's free motion classes, because I can see there very much what Angela's been teaching this week. So good morning, Di from Bristol. Great to have you on board on Facebook. So yeah, that's Pro Stitcher, Bella, and everybody else who didn't know what Pro Stitcher was. It consists of the tablet, the software, and also you get a motorized carriage, which is all the gubbins is under there, and that would normally be this bit in here, with including this bar. All of that is the motorized carriage. Doesn't that look nice on the back? Doesn't that look lovely? I was doing a table mat. Okay, and yeah, so Bella, good morning, Nicole. The upgrade for Pro Stitcher for your Amara is just under £10,000, and that includes all of the classes and stuff that I do. Most of it is done on Zoom. Actually incredibly effective, and I think if anybody has had those Zoom classes, if they think it worked for them, don't tell anybody if it didn't, then it would be great if you could say what you thought about that. So one of the things that we've got in here is of course lots of samples of what you can do with your long arm handy quilter. And I've got some laid out here. This is the ones that I've shown previously on other Facebook Lives. This is Laurie Tigner's beautiful sample, and she left that with us. Nicole says, love my pro stitcher. And Emily, yeah, Bella, I know, yeah. It's, as I know our Scottish customers would say, a considered purchase. That's that one. So we did those at a class that I ran with Laurie Tigner, which was great fun class. Laurie is such a talented quilter. And then we've got the whole cloth. We'll be talking more about that in due course in future Facebook Lives. I'm talking about how to use Echo. Then we've got some of the ruler work here that we go through. We just show people how to do that when we come to doing the demonstrations here at the showroom. This Dream Big is the small panel. I did that on the Moxie. And also, we are due any day. Do you know, we still haven't had Cindy Needham's stencils. I think it's 4 weeks now since they were sent from the States. It's really bad. Okay, and then we've got all our beautiful Glide Thread Club. So if you come to the showroom, we don't have them on display as such, but we do have all the Glide Thread, and I love that one. Absolutely love that one. That's the irises. So there we go. That's the first part of the showroom. And we've got our little kitchen area when we do our classes. That's all over there. And then over here, I'm not hiding because I've just moved this wall of samples back. But in here we go. Lovely, lush, 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 lush. Glide 1,000 meter spools. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then we've got our little moxie, I would say our moxie area, because I've now got 2 moxies set up. I've got the moxie. This one here is on the little foot frame. If you're limited on space, the little foot frame is very, very useful because it only takes up like 7 foot by 7 foot. Okay, Julie says, had my pro stitcher tuition via Zoom. Really informative and helpful. No angry face then, Julie. That's good. That's good. And then we've also got the moxie. And Julie's done a lot of quilts because Julie does Hichanda, so I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah, fabulous. So this is the moxie on the loft frame, 8 foot, and we put the handy hammock on there last week. So that's the setup. We've got the tool tray, very handy on the left-hand side there for all our accessories. I find that very, very useful. And we've also got, I've been doing the laser demos. In fact, yeah, there's some demos on there. It's a bit messy because, you know, we just let people play. We had some lovely customers come in, not very far away, Bromsgrove area. One of the ladies has already got a machine and she brought along 2 of her friends this week. So we were just delighted to be open again. So there we go. That's our showroom. There's a wall of samples over there. One of the other people that we had in this week was Joy, and Joy has an Amara with Pro Stitcher, and those 2 gorgeous samples that she very kindly sent us, those beautiful, beautiful pieces of patchwork. And Joy won the Quilters Guild Challenge the first year she ever entered a quilt competition. So yeah, Joy's got the Amara with Pro Stitcher. Claire asks, are the feathers, the full line stencils back in stock? They are. They came in yesterday, and as yesterday was quite a busy day, I don't think Pete's checked them in yet, but he's checked that we've got them all. So yeah, we'll be updating the stock on the system. And I did want to just mention, actually, I'm just going to, now I've done all my talky bit, I'm going to set you down on my tripod, and I'm going to talk about a few other things and change the view of the camera so that I can see you. And you can see me. This could be good, this could be bad. Right, so let's turn that around. Now everything's going to be in reverse because I don't have any way of doing it. Do you notice that someone's missing today? There we go. Peter Holpin, my other half, is preparing for lunch in the garden with his daughter and granddaughter and son-in-law, Mark. So because it's so, you know, I'm a bit of an angle. Let me just get that back. And Lou Reeves, just down the road, is asking, do we have any plans for any Inktense workshops? I actually, Lou, I really, really, really want to run one. So I'm just going to leave it at that at the moment. I'm not going to promise anything because it takes quite a lot to put together a workshop. But I think an Inktense workshop here would be awesome. And I would be absolutely thrilled if you decided to join us. Lou, by the way, is a very, very good watercolourist. And I'm sure would produce some amazing things on Inktense. Okay, lovely. So Pete is not here. So Pete this morning was up early doing the sourdough and baking the bread, as he does, which is fabulous. And so he's getting the lunch ready. We got a bit of a role reversal here, haven't we? And Rachel Shaw says lovely. Not quite sure what it was about, but that's good. Lovely. Now, yeah, I was going to talk about, I hope everybody's had a lovely week, actually. And the reason why I say that is because here in the UK, of course, we have been open. People have been going to patchwork shops, patchwork and quilting shops. And I know that one of our more recent customers, Meg at New Threads down near Andover at the fairground, near Andover, she's recently had an Amara with Pro Stitcher. And, Julie says she'd like an Inktense workshop as well. Fantastic. Yes, we should do that. And I've got another idea for a workshop on the basis of a class I took with the London Drawing Group only last weekend, which is was absolutely inspirational, and I'm thinking is going to translate beautifully to quilting. So Inktense, and then this other one, they're going to be some things I'm thinking about doing. Lovely to lunch with family. Yes. Did Pete ever share his sourdough tips? I think the best way to get his tips on sourdough is, I think there's a Facebook group. I'll make a note to share it with you. But the Facebook group, I think it's Lockdown Loaves, something like that. And Di would like Inktense. Oh, this is good. This is great. Excellent. Inktense class. Yes. Well, we did I did the one with Talen, and I've done obviously the ones with Laurie, but also because I've done quite a lot of watercolour in the past and drawing. I think I probably can bring something else to the party, so that would be great. Lovely. Good ideas, people. And the other thing that we're going to be running here, of course, is the foundation workshops for those people who've bought their long arms during the period that we've just gone through for the last year. And we're starting to open up, but as Sally said, they're not opening up in Scotland yet, which is a moot point because we've got some installations to do in Scotland. And for anybody who's ordered a machine in Scotland, we are planning our trip. And I believe after the 17th of May, we might be able to come up and do those installations, which would be awesome. Now, other new things. I'm a bit like Ronnie Corbett here. The other thing is that it was lovely to meet up with family and friends, wasn't it? In the last week or so. And yesterday was a very, very special moment because Pete and I took my mum and dad out for lunch at the Malt Shovel, their favourite pub. And they walked in and the waitress recognised them. And I think she probably thought they'd got COVID, but popped their clogs. But no, they're still going strong, thankfully. Rosemary says, loves using Inktense, but will need to rerun this session as we are also Zooming with the family. Okay, nice to see you, Rosemary, popping in. Love to do, great, this is fabulous. We've nearly got a class. Well, I think Inktense, I could do it so that it was a remote and an in-person class. I think there's 2 different classes there. Wouldn't that be good? Now, so we've all been able to, perhaps not all, but some people have been able to see family and friends, and I hope the rest of you who are still locked down are able to do so soon. Most people will, I think, have had their jabs by August time, even if you're in the younger demographic. I don't put myself in that category, but for those people who are younger, I believe that you will have done. Now, other things I was going to talk about today. On the email newsletter, I sent links to Joe Avery, who's based up in Scotland, and Jo is our moxie mentor, and she's writing about her progress as she learns to use her moxie. So those of you who are either interested in the moxie or have got a moxie, you might like to visit her blog. This, the last one that she wrote back in March was about ruler work. So ruler work, and Jo's been also using the channel locks. For those of you who are asking what are Inktense, let me show you. It's very exciting. Inktense is very, very exciting. So I'm just gonna, this is like my Blue Peter thing. You've opened Pandora's box, Bella. You've opened Pandora's box, because this is a few of my sets. Inktense. Here we go. Derwent, made in England. Okay, up in the Lake District, as in Derwent Water. They are based. There is even a pencil museum. Oh, would you believe it? Someone's calling me. I'm going to have to just decline the phone call. Hang on a second. Oh, I'm busy. Right, so what was that? Bella says, bad habit of mine. Yes, okay, I don't know what that refers to, but if you have any confessions, feel free. So this is the set of Inktense, that is the 36. And Inktense pencils are basically, they have pigment, but they are in a pencil form, or they come in blocks. Blocks mean that you can do sort of wider stretches of colour. And if I just show you, like they go on like that, just like a crayon. But if you wet them, they become permanent on fabric. That's just a little sample I was doing with one of the colours. And you can use them with brushes to blend them, and you can use them with a fabric medium and water and an iron to set them. Aloe is another medium. Just happen to have this just by me. And there's some absolutely beautiful colours. So the Inktense pencils in the UK, you can also get, and there are some missing from this because I've half-inched them for another set, but you get a set of 72. Absolutely beautiful. And as someone pointed out, those aren't the used ones. No, because I've got 3 other sets. So Inktense. Sylvia says you make me laugh. I don't know what I said, Sylvia, but I'm glad I'm making you laugh. That makes me happy. Right, so Inktense pencils, absolutely beautiful. Bella, let me show you as well. This was the Blue Peter one. When I started the walk around, I mentioned about how Laurie Tigner had done this one. Beautiful. Called Centre Medallion. And that was the one that I'm just going to show off here. That was the one, which way up is it? That was the one I did afterwards. So quilted after, and they are so much fun to do. So you basically make that, then it's permanent. Inktense, fun times. Really, really fun times. Now, where are we? I wonder if I can see myself live. Happening now, it says. Oh, better turn the volume off. There we go. That's really funny. Okay, now this week we got in a delivery of needles, and so I thought there are a few gaps in our range, and I was thinking, based on what some of you are doing now, that you would benefit from a few of these new needles. Kelly Klein uses the ballpoint needles when she's doing vintage work, and we had 16s and 18s in the Schmetz ballpoint, which is a light ballpoint. The Gross Beckett are a medium ballpoint. We recommend the Schmetz. Would you believe Schmetz and Gross Beckett are owned by the same company now? So, you know, pretty much the same manufacturing. So this blue packet here, this is now ballpoint, but in a size 14. So look out for those on the website if you're interested in doing vintage work, and if you're doing anything with like a knit. Don't know why you'd be doing knits, but other than t-shirt quilts, and you might want to use a thicker needle for that. But if you're doing fine work and need a ballpoint, size 14. match your thread to your needle. So with a fine thread, that will be cool. The other thing that we got in this week, previously we'd only had the MR needles, which are the crankshank. If you look back on previous Facebook Lives, we talked about the difference between the four needles that we supply. Sharps, ballpoint, MR, which is a crankshank, a high-speed needle, otherwise known as multi-directional needle, and leather. So the one that I've got here is basically a Sharps, but it's a 21 needle. It's great when you're using 2 or 3 threads through the needle. We only had that previously in the MR. So now we've got it Sharps. I'm going to team that up with a 19 so that there'll be like a thick needle multi-pack. So the thick needle multi-pack will be £8 for a 19 and a 21, and you get 10 of each size. The other one that I've got back in stock, I think we were out of, is the 125/20s. And the other thing is leather needles. Previously, we'd got those in the 16s. If you're doing leather or you're doing, oh yeah, Julie Woods says that the ballpoint are great for use on batiks. I've heard mixed stuff about that. And do you know, Julie, I think actually it might even, you tell me if this is wrong, but I think it might depend on what manufacturer of batiks there are, because resistant stuff that's left in the weave of the fabric might actually impact the way that the needle goes through. And maybe a ballpoint which forces the fibers apart compared to a Sharps which cuts them. Sharps just cuts them, nice straight stitch. Ballpoint forces the weave apart. I think it depends on the base grey fabric. It depends on how the batiks have been produced. It depends on how that dye has been washed out, and whether you pre-wash it. So there is I don't think there's any hard and fast rule about batiks. So yeah, so just bear that in mind. Anybody else who's wondering about ballpoint for batiks. Leather and the kind of needles that these leather needles, these are size 18. They'll be on the website soon, next week. Just going to look at that. Yeah, they're a really amazing point. And the idea of a leather needle is that rather than a normal needle, which could cause the leather to split, it doesn't. So batiks, Julie says, very closely woven. I found they work really well. Fantastic. Okay, so if you're using batiks and you are struggling in any way at all, then maybe a ballpoint is one worth trying. Now, next, I'm going to talk about, one of the things I've been updating on the website this week, which is perhaps more of interest to people who don't have a long arm yet, but I know that there are people who are watching this that are interested in long arm and maybe don't have one yet and they're doing their evaluation. One of the things I've updated is the quilting services page on our website, and I've now got on there some of the places where you can rent time on a machine, and there are new places that are in the process of getting set up to do that. So there's the Makerspace down in Henley-on-Thames. I know that when the shops open up again, Threads of Minehead, Bridget Olsel, who was at Box and Barnes, but I think she's moved, but she's still going to rent out time on her Simply, and Purely Patchwork in Linlithgow. They're on that website page, plus the people that, if you want to get your quilt basted, or if you're looking for long arm quilting services, then they're also listed on there too. Okay, that's one of the things I wanted to update you all on. And the other thing is saddle stools. So, saddle stools. Now, why would you get a saddle stool? What does Sally say here? Oh, so she says some of the colours on the Dream Big panels show grey around the stitches when using a Sharps. I found this too. Now, I think that's because I would need to check, but I think it's because the printing on that Dream Big digital printing does not really go through all the fibres of your fabric. Like, say with a Procyon dye, you actually are dyeing the threads. These more modern methods are not really This is my understanding. So if I'm wrong, please do tell me, anybody who knows more. It's not going all the way through. So when the needle, the sharps, pierces it, it can cause it to sort of, I'm going to say, like almost pull, like it would on a jumper. And you might find that a ballpoint does not have that impact. It's a really, really good question, Sally. I'm going to try that. Thank you. Make a note. So, Sally, ballpoint. And I don't know whether anybody else has found that, but I did notice that myself. It's a white printed panel. I agree with Liz. Thank you, Di. I love my saddle stool. Okay, Lindy. You love your saddle stool. We love our saddle stools. I'm sitting on one right now, and I'm going to show you about our saddle stools. So I'm just going to move this saddle stool over here, if I can, over the leads. It's like being in TV Centre here. Right, so let me show you. I'm going to give you a little rundown on saddle stools. Does a saddle stool need to be used on a hard surface, so not suitable with carpet? We've got carpet, Maureen. This is not dense. I mean, it's not exactly a shag pile here, but it is a carpet. So actually, I think I'll take you off there. I'm going to just give you a bit more of a... I'm going to reverse my... Oh, what does Kay says? I'm getting that too. I'd be interested if ballpoint needles help. Ah, yes, Kay, you've just done that. Well, I think we need to do a little assessment of that. Absolutely. I will pop. I've got some Dream Big over here. I think I'll do that. I'll get this. I've got one of these, and I'll put a ballpoint on after this session, and I'll share the results with you. How about that? That would be cool. Now, this then is... Just going to reverse this shag pile that takes me back, yes. Oh dear, the 70s. They were great fun times. Now, we've got 3 different saddle stools. Number 1, this is this is the Liberty. It will come with the ring. We sell all of the saddle stools with the ring, the foot ring. And that second one there, you'll notice it's got like a little split here, which looks a little odd, but actually it's designed to take any pressure off your coccyx. Anybody who's got any issues with their back, and that one is called, oh, which one's which? Yeah, that's the Flyford. This is the Flyford. The Hackett is this one here. Okay, so the Hackett is more like a saddle. The Flyford is wider, and the Liberty is wider still. This is very broad. You'll see this is quite, there's my hand. Whether you can see that. Rona says, I think my saddle would need it to need to be a bit wider. I had a very funny email. One of our customers who's about to get her new machine, actually she had the last Avante, and very funny email. And she said, which of your saddles, this is why I'm doing this, which of your saddle stools do you think would be the best for me? I would describe myself as a stumpy, very broad, I hope I'm not being rude by saying this, broad across the beam, and a little bit stumpy. So now I don't have that as our website description for obvious reasons, but I think this is Pipe Pete and my favourite for a long period of time of sitting. This one, funny story here, not funny actually, but funny. So Linda Jackson and I, we were at the Harrogate show, and we had this one without the backrest on the stand. And this lady, she had come onto the stand and was looking at the frames. And I had told her the price, and she was sitting on the saddle stool, and the reason she was sitting on the saddle stool was she said, oh, I feel a bit lightheaded. So she sat on the saddle stool, and we could see that she was sort of wobbling a bit. Anyway, she fainted sitting on the saddle stool. She fainted, but she didn't fall off. She stayed on the saddle stool, unconscious. And Linda and I had to lift her off the saddle stool in order to lie her on the floor. Anyway, she did phone me later and say that she was absolutely fine. So it had a happy ending. But yeah, so we got a bit of form for there that you'll never fall off that one. So that's that one. And it is very much like a saddle. This is in the sort of the purple colour, and this is in the blue. Now, the nice thing about all of them is that you can adjust the tilt as well as the height, plus at the back, if you have the backrest, optional backrest, you can adjust the height of this up and down, and also whereabouts it sits in that direction too. So the backrest is optional, only available in the black. And Georgie, who put a comment on just now, just said how much she loves her saddle stool, and Georgie ordered hers in white. I think you had this one, didn't you, Georgie? And it looked absolutely stunning. So that's the saddle stools. This one, I think, as I say, it's a bit broader. Put these right next to each other. If I do it like this, it's quite difficult to show you, but you can now see, I think, the black one is the widest, the narrowest is the purple, and the middle one is the blue. If that helps, I hope it does. The other thing is the stem height. The stem height here, standard is 12 inches high, and just going to refer to my information sheet here. The 14-inch has a range up, this bit here will go up to 35 inches high, this bit here, compared to this one, which will go up to a 12-inch, would go up to 29 inches. So you get an extra 6 inches in height. So if you're tall, like 5'7" plus, I would recommend getting the 14-inch. Okay, now, can you show how they would work with quilting a stand-up long arm? Great question, Sue. Thank you very much for prompting me on my next part of the session. That is fabulous. So, just walking back to this, I thought I would show you. Oh, I haven't brought my tripod. This is where I need Mr. Holpin. And the phone's going. See? Now, there's only so many hats I can wear at any one time. I can't get the phone as well. Right. So I'm just going to switch this around. I can't get it. I'll phone you back. Now. Why is the answer phone not coming in? Right. So there we've got our saddle stool. And the saddle stool, therefore, would enable me, if I'm setting up my pro stitcher like this, I would have it high up like that. And now I am pretty much level with the screen. If I were doing ruler work, I'm not sure I'd use it with ruler work. Where I mostly use it would be micro quilting. So what I'm looking for is a shallower angle, a much better approach in terms of looking at the work, and that enables me on something like the Amara. I will just pause that. I'm just going to cancel that, I don't really need it. Just to show you, if I just cut that thread. With something like the Amara, or if you had the micro handles on the Avanti, you would do your micro quilting by adjusting the handles like so, bring that in like this, and then I'd probably even go lower like that. And now I'm resting my hands, resting my arms. Let me bring you a little closer. There we go. Does it matter which machine you have considering throat space as to which stool? No, I don't think so. But we were talking with, I tell you what, there was on, I think it was on the long arm learning curve that, oh, it was one of the groups anyway. Meg, who's recently got her Amara with Pro Stitcher, asked about doing ruler work like closer to the back of the frame. And it's a really good question actually, Joyce, because if you're doing something like ruler work or micro quilting, you don't really want to be quilting over here because look, that's going to cause all kinds of neck issues. You're probably going to be working mostly in the front 2/3, if not half. And therefore, if you've got a Studio 2 frame, if you've got it set up for an Amara, you will be able to bring it this close. There's hardly any distance from that front rail. And if you've got an Avanti, it would be set further back. There are two different settings for how far this comes out. On the little foot frame, you can adjust how far out the little foot frame sits. There's a 16-inch and an 18-inch option on the arms of the little foot frame. So what you really want to do is get it as close as possible to you. You can quite easily, 5-minute job, change the little foot frame to either being closer or further away. Further away if you're doing ruler work so that the front of the ruler base doesn't hit the front rail, but closer for doing micro work. And this is where I think probably the best benefit of having a saddle stool is. Let me just take the gears off, it's really heavy. Okay, so that's where this is just great because I've got much better visibility at the front here, and I can see all the way behind my needle, and I can do small movements. So the Amara with that, or the micro handles on the Avanti with a saddle stool, very, very happy days. So that's how I'd use it, and I recommend if you're getting it for a stand-up frame, personally I think having the back support is really, really good. So I would definitely recommend that. On the email that I sent out, I mentioned about having a stand-up machine versus a sit-down machine. Now, Handy Quilting more recently have called the difference between this machine, which is on a frame, we would call this a movable machine, because the machine moves, as opposed to, Rosemary says, I know you're not tall, Liz, but people always mention that. So many sizist comments, but Rosemary, I know you're not tall either. How tall will it go? It'll go, I think I read it out, 6 inches more. So it's 29 inches to the top of that stool, like the middle bit where you're sitting. 29 inches, imagine that's where your, I'm going to say in American terms, a butt is, or 35 inches if you have the 14-inch stem. Now, here you go. That was on a movable machine. The movable machine being an Amara. But here, let me just adjust you downwards, if I can. It's not moving. This is where I need Mr. Holpin. This is a Sweet 16 in the Insight table, and I've set it so it's higher. Oh, it's quite difficult to do that. Let me turn this around. Here we go. Right, much easier. Here we've got two stationary machines. The machines do not move. We sit down, obviously, at a table when it's this height, and we've got an adjustable chair. But on this one, which is the stationary machine called Sweet 16, which is in the Insight table, I've set this so that I can actually sit at a saddle stool. So here we go. This is our saddle stool with the Sweet 16. And the point of this, I'm just going to flip this around again. The point of this, of me making this comment is, although it's a stationary machine, it's actually, whoops, Rona's asking, what weight will the stools take? I don't know. I can find out though. So the stationary machine, like the Sweet 16 here, in the insight table, stitch regulated, lovely, lovely machine. We're now selling quite a few of these with the insight table because the stitch regulation is built in, just like it is on the Capri. Stationary machine with a saddle stool, nice and high, so I could stand at it. Right, you'll notice there's not a lot of difference between me standing and me sitting. Here we go. That's me standing. I can actually stand and quilt at this machine. Because on this screen, I've got a start and a stop button. So that is a quick roundup. We've got all the machines here at the showroom. We would be delighted to see anybody coming to have either a demonstration, or if you're interested in getting some threads or some of our lovely stencils. Orders coming in from Handy Quilter this week, plus Cindy's stencils should be here this week. And we're excited to say that we're going to be getting some more products too, primarily thread, which is lovely because, as most people will know, I absolutely adore thread. Anyway, it's now 10 to 12. I'm looking forward to going home into the garden because it's sunny and seeing what Pete's been creating while I've been here chatting along to you. And I hope that that's been a useful session. Just wanted to really give you a bit more of a roundup on what is available at the showroom and what the showroom consists of, because so many of you wouldn't know. And Kate Irving says, Liz, would the saddle stool work well when sitting on the domestic machine as well? I have used it very much on a domestic machine, Kate, and with that lumbar support, I think it's it's a lovely, lovely, comfortable position, because I'm now on the saddle stool at its lowest. That's at its sort of mid-height, and then that is at its highest point. I don't know if that helped. Yeah, Kate, it's really difficult, isn't it? Because you guys, you're in Northern Ireland and you can't sort of easily come over here to try it. For yourself, Kate, I would say either the Hackett or the Flyfoot would suit you, because you're probably about my height too. Di says, thanks, Liz, very helpful, fabulous. Jackie, listen, it's great to have you here and lovely to see you here on Facebook Live. And during the week, this week, we've got lots of people coming for demos. We've got some Moxie demos. We've got some Amara demos. We've got some sit-down demos. Look out for things that we're posting online, and we will be announcing some special offers on those new stencils. So look out for that. And the class I did at the weekend, last weekend, there was a fabulous bit. They ended it with that Laurel and Hardy bits where they all go, bye, 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 because parting is such sweet sorrow. And we will look forward to seeing you. I'm hoping that Pete will be here next weekend, and we'll talk some more about long arm quilting then. So thanks very much. Lovely to see you, Tricia. I'll be in touch. Thanks for your email. I'll get back to you on that. And Kay, I'll come back to you with some answers on the ballpoint, and also to Sally about that white effect that you get when you use a sharps. Georgie says, great multitasking list. Yeah, yes, it. I'm in this 1,500 square foot showroom on my own, just doing the Facebook Live and all the demos and everything else. Hey, that's what we do. Many, many hats, but I couldn't get the phone. Liz, yeah, best regards to Brian as well. Rosemary, oh, so you sent me an email. I did see that, Rosemary. I will get onto that and show you what our faff looks like. Susan says, have a great lunch. Thank you, Linda. Linda and Lindsay says, well done on your own. Thank you very much. And yeah, saw my parents yesterday, Lindsay, and I always think when I see you, I think of you and my dad having chats and stuff. But they're doing really well, so great. Thank you very much, Sylvia. And what's the difference between full line and Cindy? Full line is the nylon stencils. We use them with the pounce. Cindy, you can use them either with the pounce or with chalk parker pencils, more traditional plastic style of stencils. And we'll be featuring them as soon as we get the stock in. We'll be featuring them on our Facebook Live. Thank you, Susie. Best regards to your husband, and I hope everything's going well down in Dorset. All right, folks, I'll see you soon. Have a lovely weekend and enjoy whatever you're doing. All right, bye now.